1. I had been meaning to buy breakfast for the team in appreciation for their hard work this month and close. I couldn't get it the last couple of days because I was running a little late. So tomorrow, I thought, I will buy them the much-deserved breakfast. Woke up at around 7:15 a.m. and wanted to be at work at around 8:15. I live only about 8 minutes away from work. A little background. A minute from my apartment, there are 4 major fast food chains, namely McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, Jack in the Box, and Taco Bell. Now, I don't always buy breakfast for work, but when I do, I always get it from Taco Bell. The reason being there is a Chick-fil-A next to this Taco Bell that stays super busy, and as a result, the Taco Bell never has any traffic. Plus, they have 2 for $2.39 on their naked egg tacos, which would lower the price for me. After waking up at 7:15 a.m., and before getting in the shower, I look up Taco Bell in my iPhone and call them. A guy answers the phone on the other end. Guy: "Thank you for calling Taco Bell, how can I help?" Me: "Hi, are you guys still running the special on the naked egg tacos?" Guy: "Yes, we are." Me: "Cool, can I please get an order of 15, so making it 30 tacos?" Guy: "We generally accept such orders from our mobile app. It would be easier if you did it that way." I'm surprised at this because they have never told me this before, and I get a big order from there at least once a month. Maybe this is some new app, I thought to myself. Me: "This is not the first time I am doing this. I have ordered in the past and always place the order over the phone. Are you the manager?" Guy: "I am not. Let me pass the phone to her." God bless you, have a great day. This was a bit odd for me too. Manager: "Good morning, this is Jessica." Me: "Good morning, Jessica. I would like to place an order of 15 naked egg tacos, making it 30 total." Manager: "Oh, okay. Please be sure you're going to get here because it would feel bad to drop them in the fryer and you not showing up." Me: "Sure, I will be there in 15 minutes. I have ordered from you guys before." Manager: "Okay, your total is $59.09. See you in 15 minutes. 15 minutes later, I show up to the Taco Bell and see Jessica on the counter, so I greet her saying, "Good morning, Jessica. I'm here to pick up my order." The woman answers with a slight smile. "What order are you talking about?" I laugh and tell her I called her and ordered 15 orders of naked egg tacos. She tells me she hasn't talked to anyone on the phone this morning and tells me to check my phone. I start thinking, oh crap, my maps must have showed me the wrong Taco Bell. But the chance of this happening was low because I recall seeing 2 minutes drive on the map. But I take her advice and look at my call history, and lo and behold, the number starts with 817, and at the bottom it says Azle, Texas. I have lived in Texas for the last 10 years of my life, and had never heard of Azle, Texas. Apparently it was 40 miles from where I was. My stomach grew heavy. I recalled the suggestions on the phone, use the mobile app, use the mobile app. Felt like crap. I looked at the woman behind the counter and asked her to make me 15 orders of the naked egg tacos. She told me she only had 10 orders, she could get 15, but since they are still frozen it would take her 20 to 30 minutes. So I just ordered the 10 orders, 20 tacos, and a couple of quesadillas, making it $36.40. I called back the Azle, Texas location. I was planning to tell them I am sorry, and not pay at first, but decided to pay after all. The manager was hesitant to accept payment at first, but was willing to take a manual payment after I explained to her that I was 40 miles away. She was indifferent about the whole situation. I could see the cashier snickering, but I didn't care. I just picked up the breakfast and headed to work. I had fucked up in the past, but never this bad, so I tried to figure out what went wrong. After Googling the location, it turns out Yelp had the wrong number listed for this location. Instead of the number for the Irving location, they had listed the number for Azle, Texas. Kind of scary how badly I trusted my phone. The "God bless you" had come out of nowhere, and was probably the reason I paid. 2. So the obligatory "this wasn't actually today, but enough time has passed" that it's become more funny than embarrassing. My roommate at home was on the bottom story of a 2-story house. The best part of this place, besides the good company and cheap rent, was the fact that nobody else used the downstairs bathroom. It was a short hop out of bed, 4 steps forward, 2 steps left, turn right, and handle business. The fuck up happened on New Year's Eve, or technically New Year's Day. We went out to a house party and a friend made it a point to get me obliterated because friends are friends. They succeeded and I was gone before midnight. My girlfriend is the designated driver because she's awesome, thoughtful, and overall too good for me. She drives us to her parents' house because that's where I left my car. I'm still drunk, so we decide to sleep it off. It's her parents' house, so we know better than to sleep in the same bed and have them find us the next morning. We decided to sleep on the couch because, like I said, she's too good for me, so I don't want to piss them off in any way, shape, or form. Hours passing. I wake up to the sound of my girlfriend, "Ah! This motherfucker! What are you doing?" I start to come to and go into immediate panic. Drunkenly, I sleepwalked to the bathroom and needed to rely completely on my instincts. It was a short hop out of bed, 4 steps forward, 2 steps left, turn right and handle business. Unfortunately, this wasn't my house, and I had urinated all over her parents' Sanyo AV receiver. She jumps into action and grabs the receiver and turns it upside down into some towels. I don't know where the towels came from. I'm standing there petrified, hoping I'll wake up from a bad dream. It's not a dream. She decides we need to leave because she's freaking out now. She writes a note to her parents saying that there's something wrong with the receiver, but she'll look at it tomorrow. We leave my car and go to my place and sleep for a few hours. She wakes up before I do and goes back over to her parents' house to survey the damage and revive the receiver. The Sanyo is dead, yo. When I wake up, look at her texts about the receiver and think how to fix it. I start realizing how shitty of a situation this is to put her and her parents in. It was an honest mistake, but still not a good look for the parents I'm trying to impress. Do I go over and try to fix it? Do I call them and ask for forgiveness? Do I give them money to fix it? Do I replace it without them knowing? I spend the better part of the day fretting, but I know what I need to do. The next day I arrive at her parents' house. I ring the doorbell and her mom answers the door. "Hey, Dees motherfucker. What are you doing here? What's with the box?" "Let me explain," I say as she gestures me to come in. Through the stuttering and chattering of my teeth, I managed to explain to them what happened that night. I felt like it was an hour, but it must have been no more than 2 minutes. As I finish my explanation, I look up for a reaction, and her mom and dad are laughing uncontrollably. I try to give them the new receiver that I bought for them, which according to the guy at Fry's was newer and better than what they had. They finally relax and explain that they got my girlfriend's note and that they saw she had cleaned it with some stuff. I turn around and realize that the thing is now powered on and the TV audio is powered through it. They insisted that I take back the receiver that I bought, and that the story alone was worth the trouble. I was relieved to have not broken the receiver while relieving myself. 3. Well, today I fucked up worse than I have in all of my 19 years, probably. I've been trying to lose weight for probably 6 years now, and I've been finding it more difficult than usual. So I went to my local Acme and found my way to their health and beauty section. This is where I found the weight loss drug, Ali. It was pretty expensive, it's $56, but it had tons of good reviews and I had pre-read stuff online. That reassured me that it was the safest drug to take. So I purchased it and go home, and it says to take up to 3 a day. So I figured screw it. I'll just take all 3 of them now, so that way I don't have to try to remember later. So later that night, sure enough, I start shitting myself. I figured, okay, tomorrow I'll just FaceTime out. So the next morning I wake up and apparently I have shat myself in my sleep, so I decide that I will only take 2 today, and I will take them 8 hours apart, which I did. The next day comes in at the same routine, yet I'm still shitting. So I figured I'll only take 1 today. That's around noon, I take them on. And then I go out with my now ex and her mom to Rite Aid. Now keep in mind I have a 19-year-old female in this situation, and this girl that I was dating at the time was the basic high school cheerleader, and me, I was the grungy loser. So we're in Rite Aid, and all of a sudden I feel the leaks of these goddamn Hershey squirts are coming for me. I got to think quickly or else there's going to be chocolate syrup and caramel sauce all over aisle 3. Quickly I pull her mom to the side and I explain my predicament. She said she found a box and on it says might cause anal leakage. I'm mortified, I didn't know what to do, but luckily this beautiful woman with a beautiful sense of humor pulls out a tampon and tells me to go to the bathroom. So that day I ended up walking out of Rite Aid with 2 tampons. My ex's mom and my ex in tow, wondering why I can't sit still in the car. And that is the story of how I fucked up. 4. It was the late 80s, and my father along with 2 buddies had gone on a fishing trip to northern Mexico on the west coast. The guys were camping in a spot above a small cliff, where it would be nice to have some cover with some high desert trees and shrubs around. The guys had been using an area of bushes for toilet, which was right next to the cliff, where they figured was out of the way. Just before they went to sleep, Dave, one of the buddies, went to the toilet spot and took a large dump. Having had many beers, he didn't even cover it. His FU, friend FU, FFU? They went to bed about 30 feet away. It's really dark where they were. A small town is an easy walking distance, however. You just had to know your way around the area. Streetlights were scarce. Around midnight, or 1 a.m., a romantic couple decided to sneak away from town for a romantic time. My father and friends heard them approach, always listening for safety. Listening to the conversation, knowing it wasn't someone with bad intentions coming to the camp. The guys were still listening. Apparently the man chose the bush-covered cliff to take his lady. From what the men could tell, the couple found that exact spot to be together. The couple's male's FU was not to bring a flashlight or something. There are scorpions or rattlesnakes in the area. The female of the couple complained of being in something slimy. Soon realized what it was and freaked out for a while, before they left to go back to town. I remember this story being told to my mother and older brother. There were many FUs made by many, however. At least no one was seriously injured. It wasn't my FU, but I'll never forget it as long as I live. 5. To preface things a little, this story belongs to my now adult son, who has given me permission to share this story with Hellfreezer only. When I was about 16 years old, I was still rather socially awkward. I had a very small group of what I call school friends because, well, we never hung out together outside of school. We were the outcasts, the nerds, the overachievers. So we found each other like magnets and clung tight. One day my so-called buddies were razzing me about my shyness, and of course I was trying to be all cool, telling them I wasn't really shy, I was just calculated, blah blah blah. We had a pretty good banter back and forth for a while. Then the stakes were raised. They dared me to ask out E. Of all the cruel things they could have done to me, this was the worst. We're not just talking any girl here, this was the E. The prettiest, most popular outgoing girl in the school, and yeah, the most unapproachable one too. I'm thinking to myself, this is one corner you're not going to be able to collectively back out of. Shit. Now everyone either wants to be cool or accepted, or at least freakishly invisible in school. I had succeeded at being the latter of the two. I'm stuck this time. My mouth just had to keep challenging them to one-up me. And now I'm faced with refusing the dare, at which point everyone in school will know within days that I'm a wussy, and would bring even more pressure to my daily life. Or I could buck it up and ask E out. Praying her refusal will at least be polite and relatively quiet. I figured not taking the dare is a guaranteed outcome, where asking E out was a 50-50 outcome, so I took the dare. Oh, God, help me. I straightened myself up as best I could, took in a deep breath and began stalking E. My challenge was getting refused for a date in the most private way possible, so I had to circle her and her group, hoping for an opportunity before the bell rang to send us all back to class. It seems I've been circling forever and I'm getting worried I'll run out of time and be forever branded the wussy of the school. I take out my phone to look at the time and sure enough, I am running out of time. As in I now have less than 10 minutes to pull this off. The whole time I'm doing this shark circling prey routine, I can feel the eyes of my buddies burning holes in my back. No pressure. Ugh. E's group was now down to her and 2 other girls, and I figured it wasn't going to get any better than this. So now was the time to face whatever level of humiliation she may throw at me. I sucked in my breath to push my chest out a little, and suck in my gut a tad, and began my red carpet stroll. I swear everything was in slow motion. My eyes are fixated on her. Time stopped moving. Everyone going about their business surrounding me were invisible. Finally, I was standing in front of the almighty E and her two sidekicks. My gut was in my throat by this time, and I'm profusely sweating. I opened my mouth to say, "Hey, E," and a bunch of gurgling noise came out. Now I'm thinking, oh yeah, like you ever had a chance before, so why not just totally blow it, right? E responded with, "What was that, Z? I didn't quite hear you, sorry." And now I'm thinking to myself, phew. She's at least going to be polite when she rejects me, so I said, "Hey E, I was wondering if you'd like to have dinner with me Friday night." And I braced myself. I think I might have had my eyes closing waiting for the hit of the rejection. Much to my surprise, he said yes. Fast forward a year or so. E and I have been pretty good friends. We hung out after school, went to some school functions together, and just basically were pretty good buddies. I had never thought of trying to take it further. Not that I didn't dream of doing just that, damn near every night. But this girl was so far out of my league, I felt I had already hit the lottery by getting her as a friend, so there was no way I was fucking that up. At least not until senior year near graduation or something. One day E informed me that she and her family were moving about 2 hours north, and she wouldn't be finishing the school year that year. I was totally bummed, to say the least. And that obviously showed because E quickly reassured me we would still be in daily contact, and a 2-hour drive wasn't all that bad. E called me the next day to ask if I would help them move some of their bigger furniture to the new house, since I have a full-size truck. I happily agreed as it meant spending the day with her, and surely getting in a few good laughs. We spent the day hauling things from the old house to the new house, secretly making fun of some of her parents' belongings, generally having a great time as we always did. Her parents were pretty cool too. Her dad took a liking to me, and I swear he made me feel like I was his future son-in-law or something. It was kinda cool, but creepy too. It had been a long day, and there was only a couple loads left. I agreed to come back the next day to move the rest and went home for the night. The next day I showed up at the old place, and it's just E there. Her parents stayed at the new place to start unpacking, and trusted us to get the last of the items out of the house. No biggie. I noticed she was wearing a skirt and top that day, which seemed rather odd for moving attire, but didn't give it too much thought. We load up a few things and head to her room to grab the dresser. What followed after that was probably the most unbelievable set of events I'll ever experience in my life. At least I hope it never gets worse or crazy than this. E is standing across the room from me by her bed when I begin to wiggle and move the dresser towards the hallway. I get the dresser out of its place and something on the floor caught my eye, so I looked down to see what it was. It was a bright red silicone resemblance of manhood. Immediately I think to myself, oh my freaking god, and duck out into the hallway. My intention was to give her some privacy to do something with that thing, figuring she was probably mortified that I had seen it. Proper gentlemanly thing to do, right? So I walked to the kitchen and got some water, mostly wasting time before returning to her room. I was probably screwing off for a good 5 minutes, so plenty of time for her to hide her boy toy. And this is where the beginning of the FU list happened. I approached the room and knock on the outside wall, since the door was still open. She told me to come in, so I did, and when I walked in, nothing had changed. That bright red blow to a proper man's ego was still laying right where it was when I left. Now I'm like a deer in the headlights. I have no damned clue what I'm supposed to do with myself this time. I'm standing there like a flippin' stone statue, just staring at that thing with my pulse racing so madly, I'm sure she could see the heartbeat through my shirt. E calmly smiles and says, "Hey Z, would you like to see me use it?" Instant flashback to the day I was dared to ask her on a date. I thought she was fucking with me, just enjoying sweating me out, so I, in a very broken voice, said, "Yeah, sure." Of course I did not believe for one small moment she was being serious, and thought this was about to end in a big haha moment or something, but nope. E struts over to the silicone stud, picks it up like it's her best friend, and proceeds to strut back across the room to her bed. She laid down, slid her skirt up, began to move the toy closer to her nether regions, and after that I have no fucking clue what she did. I fainted. I mean hit the ground like a ton of bricks, fainted dead out. Who does that? I bet all you guys out there never thought that could even be possible. If you had a shot with a dream girl. Yeah, think again. So the next thing I remember is this tiny noodle of a girl, trying to lift my rather large lumberjack frame onto her bed, while crying profusely, saying over and over again, "Please don't be dead, please don't be dead." Yeah, really sexy move there, eh? I'm sure she was instantly in love with me now. Fuck. I got myself onto the bed with her help, and asked for a glass of water and a wet towel, to which she obliged. After a few minutes I was feeling normal again. We were going over the "did I just die" conversation, which led to her laughing hysterically at me upon finding out I had fainted. She wasn't mean about it, and even had me laughing with her, but in my mind I was thinking to myself, "You are the dumbass that has the winning lotto ticket and throws it away." After a few laughs and everything feeling more normal between us, she asked me straight up without any hesitation, "Do you want to try that again?" In my head, there was literally two me's arguing back and forth. "Hell yes, do it! And, "Dude, you haven't even kissed a girl. Do you even know what to do?" And me seemingly an observer to this fight or something. This raged on for what seemed like forever, but based on her response, I'm guessing I kept the conversation flow decently well. When I answered, sure? As I'm shaking so badly, it can't be hidden. Cue fuck up number 2. We're getting our teenage rage on, and now it's time for some responsibility in the matter. Having no idea I would ever become a man in this lifetime, I of course had not brought, or even purchased for that matter, any condoms. Awkwardly, I asked her if she had one. She didn't. Well, that cooled things down ever so slightly. And I do mean ever so slightly. Frantically, we were both running around what's left of the house trying to find any form of protection so we can continue where we left off. She found a Ziploc baggie, and I found an old plastic grocery store bag. Not the best options, but they were options and all we had. Cue fuck up number 3. While we did get our goals accomplished, it didn't come without a price to pay. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a good and proper reason condoms are made the way they are, being all snug-fitting and such. So if you ever believe there is another option, don't. Just don't. When it was all said and done, we're laying there, and my manhood is beginning to itch a bit. Of course, I'm avoiding scratching with all my might because, well, that wouldn't be very sexy or something. I don't know why it was such an issue. Anyway, E says to me, "I don't think that was a very good idea." Lump in my throat and insecurity on high alert, I'm thinking to myself, I sucked so bad this is the "we will never do that again" speech. But I calmly replied, "Which part?" And kind of laughed, trying to keep things light and in joking mode. She said, "The bags, I really hurt down there and it feels like I might be bleeding." I said I wasn't feeling the best down there either and agreed the bags were probably the reason. She asked me to look and see if she was bleeding. Yay? So, being the caring, thoughtful yet freaked out guy I am, I obliged. I'm on my hands and knees on the bed, ass up in the air, and aiming my phone flashlight app, like a wannabe doctor doing an exam. She's laughing and complaining of pain at the same time. I'm guessing she's laughing at me, but figured this was a good thing, distracting her from the pain and such. So I get on with my apprentice-level examination, and realize I have no idea what it's supposed to look like when it's not injured, so how the hell am I going to tell if there's an injury or not? Shit. Exam, think, adjust light. I look up after careful thought and exclaim, "Nope, no bleeding," hoping that would be that. Nope, that wasn't that just yet. She asks me exactly what I saw and does it look normal. Why she thought I would know what one looks like is beyond me. The fainting episode should have given some clue. I couldn't think of a smooth way out of this one, so I just said it like it was, I don't know what it's supposed to look like, so I don't know if it's normal, I just know there's no blood. I'm feeling like an idiot, and she's laughing so hard she's in tears. We decide maybe examining me might give us a hint of what may or may not be going on with her. Don't ask teenage thinking, I don't know. Anyway, she carefully examines my business. I feel like my most private places are being scrutinized. And the longer she takes, the more self-conscious I'm getting, so finally I say, "So?" She giggled and said, "Oh, you wanted the results right away." Smartass. So she tells me I have what looks like a rug burn on my junk. Great. How am I supposed to treat that? Skip ahead, and now I'm at home checking out my business in the mirror, and I'm freaking out. I've never seen him so red, and, well, near death looking in my life. It was bad, I mean really bad. Cue fuck up number 4. I tried to fix it. Tried to bully through the pain, everything I tried made it worse. Reluctantly, I went to the only source I have that could possibly fix this kind of bad. My mom. With my head hung low, I asked my mom if I could talk to her privately in my room. God knows I could never let my brother hear this story. With a slightly worried look, my mom stopped what she was doing and led the way to my room. She sat down in my bed and asked me what was wrong. I told her my personal business was not looking right and hurt pretty bad. Awkwardly enough, all the worry seemed to drain from her face, as if inside she just said to herself, "Oh, that's all," or something. Her total mom kicked in, and she said very simply, Okay, well, let's take a look." To which I dropped my drawers. I thought scrutinizing my business was bad. Mom looks up with what looked like a smile she was trying to hold back, and asked me if I had been playing with Rosie or her 4 sisters a lot recently. The way she said it was so matter-of-fact, calm, everyday conversation, like this was something she's seen before. I embarrassingly exclaimed, "No!" She calmly went into the spiel about how doing such things is normal for a guy my age. Birds and bees, lube, birds and bees, lube. And I'm thinking to myself, shit, only way out is straight ahead. I was really hoping to avoid this. So I interrupted her and said, "Yeah, Mom, I get it, and yeah, I do that sometimes, but that's not what made this happen." Then I told her the whole story about E and the bags. She was still in tears from laughing so hard at the fainting part. She was almost on the floor by the time I got to the bags part. My mom's pretty cool, though. Once she collected herself, she started off doing the good parent thing, and commending me for at least being mature enough to use protection, even in such great odds, rather than simply react to my teenage hormones, yada yada. Then she proceeds to say, "I really need to meet this girl. I have made men do many a stupid thing in my day. Never did I make one faint. I'm jealous." We both had a good laugh, and she showed me how to treat my very raw and sore, but now experienced member. Thanks, Mom. Hey everybody, Hellfreezer here, and thank you very much for listening to Embarrassing Stories number 73. Thank you very much to everybody who allowed me to use and sent in stories for use in this video. As it's a weekend, of course, I'm just going to keep the outro super duper short. I just want to hope you all have a nice time, whatever you may be doing. And if you're not having a nice time, that you get a nice reward at the end of the day, because you certainly deserve it. And with that, I'm going to head off for now. So until next time, thank you very much for listening, and take very good care of yourselves.